Hi everyone. One of the things I like to do in managing my chronic pain is sucking on frozen grapes. Now, what this has to do with chronic pain is the dry mouth that comes from medications that are normally used to manage this. So when you get into chronic pain, there's a few classes of drugs. The ones that I find that get you are originally developed as either epilepsy or medications used as antidepressants, but in a small dose are effective for chronic pain. The nerve centers in the brain work on the same sort of drug classes. So what I'd like to do is buy a bunch of grapes, give them a wash, and then freeze them on a cookie sheet. So I've got 3 bags here, and I've got other types of fruit as well. The grocery store sells, for example, frozen blueberries, frozen strawberries, mangoes. There's any number of fruits that you could use. I happen to like grapes, and the side benefit of sucking on them is actually improved oral health. A dry mouth is really hard on the gums and causes the gums to recede. So what I'm just doing first, of course, is giving them a wash, and I also need to get them off of the vines to freeze them. Now I'm going to be here doing this for like 10 minutes, so I thought I would just talk while doing this. I'm just trying to keep my hand in the frame as I pull these off of the vines. So I've just put together my groceries for the next 3 months. And what I do is use a slow cooker and make up my meals ahead of time. And I've got sufficient freezer space. And then the benefit is that if I'm not feeling well on a given day, there's still healthy food for me to eat. And of course, it's significantly less expensive than, for example, going to either get takeaways or even the frozen meals. Okay, so that's that first bag. So it's a strategy to save money is what this partly is all about for me. But it's more than that. There's a lot of satisfaction, at least I get a lot of satisfaction in using my hands. Oh, sorry about hitting the camera. Oh, I see I've got 2 different types of grapes. That's fine. I buy my groceries from the local Walmart Supercenter. That is when I'm doing the big buys. And then one of my neighbors, his mom takes him grocery shopping once a week, and he's willing to pick up sort of the perishable stuff. So for example, I still got a stem on it. So perishable foods, for example, bananas. I like to have bananas. Another perishable food that I like is yogurt. And salads, for example. And then every now and then, if things are not getting, there might be some morale boosting by having other food that I would like. So for example, a few weeks ago I made sushi with salmon, and I also tried it with meatballs. I cooked the meat for both. Actually, that's a bit of a lie. I used pre-cooked meatballs, now that I think of it. And I had to cook the salmon, or I wanted to cook the salmon. I don't trust myself to eat raw salmon. At least not by a sort of a sushi master, if I could say it like that. So like if things are not going well, periodically that's a morale boost. But what I try to do is get the bulk of my meals ready ahead of time, and then they're here and I'm good for, you know, for doing my meal preparation. And I make heavy use of the slow cooker, as I'll be showing in various cooking videos this year. And you know, it works out well for me. So I mentioned as a possible strategy, I do realize that the Instapot has become quite popular, and it might be that you're drawn to that instead of a slow cooker. And that's perfectly understandable. I like the slow cooker because you can put stuff on for 8 to 12 hours, meaning the work, the effort is spread out over a few days in doing the meal preparation, and then the cooking, and then the freezing. And by spreading it out, my legs do their best, and I'm not experiencing debilitating pain. For the last bag, I've already pulled them off of the stems, or the vines I mean. Why I did this was self-care. I'm just trying to pace myself today with the groceries arriving and not overload my hips or knees. Okay, so there they all are. So the next step is giving them a good wash. Now, if that's awkward for you, the other option is using, there we go, is using this where you'd fill up the jug that you mix your juice up in, your concentrated juice, and then just pour it over. So whatever works for you, whatever your physical limits are, you can find strategies to work around your body. Okay, so these will sit here now for about the next hour and a half and dry off, and then I'll move to the next step once that time has passed. So here's the next step of freezing the grapes. So I've got them on a plate, and then here's the strainer, and they'll sit in my fridge here for the next 24 hours. So the idea is for the water to evaporate off the grapes. So that's sort of to stop them from basically freezing like this in one big bunch. So that's the next step of the process. So I'll come back to this tomorrow once they've had their 24 hours to sort of dry the surface of them off. And I should add, the way this works is the same with where you see a window air conditioner dripping. The refrigerant that's in the walls of the refrigerator will pull the humidity out over about a 24-hour period to dry the tops off. Now, if you're in a rush, you could do this with a towel over top or paper towels, but I'm just letting the refrigerator do the work for me. The refrigerator has now had the dehydrating effects on the grapes where they're now dry to the touch. So the next step is making an even layer of them in this 9 by 13 Pyrex dish. Now while I do this, I do want to talk for a minute about food safety and food handling. If you have any doubt about the safety, the cleanliness of the pan, take the extra time to wash it. Don't introduce bacteria into your food recklessly. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not wanting to see you endure an illness or feel fatigued for a day as your body rests, recovers, and fights off infection. Okay, so that's what I would normally do, is just one layer of them and rotate it about every 8 hours with the goal that you get through the pile in about 2 days. I want to get them froze as fast as is practical. So, first thing in the morning, early afternoon, evening, cycle it through. And at around 8 hours, these will be more like marbles because of freezing. They're going to be easy to scoop up, and I'll demonstrate that in the next clip. But that's all that the next process is. And it's just a process. It just becomes part of your routine for a few days. I've now got all the grapes frozen, so I just thought I'd use this last one as an example. So these are all now hard. Like, you can hear that the textures, and if I squeeze it, it's not breaking. So what I normally do is take about 8 of them, put them on a small plate, and sit them by me when I'm working at the computer or playing on the computer. And instead of putting on a lot of weight, this is overall much healthier than sort of eating out of being bored. Okay, I hope this helps those who really need ideas and can help get you thinking. Hope you're doing okay. Bye for now.